Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we have a very, very special podcast guest today. Someone who not only is a legend in the world of eSports and NBA2K, but he's intent on bringing championship glory back to the Bay. Welcome, Alex Reese of Warriors Gaming Squad, also known as Bsmoove. Bsmoove, how are you doing today, brother?
Good. Appreciate you guys for having me. Nothing like it.
First of all, how did you even get into this wild and crazy world of esports?
Ooh, man. Well, actually, I guess might as well dive deep into it now. I mean, so basically, it was around when I was in the 8th grade. My mother actually passed away from colon cancer. So I just needed something, so like a coping mechanism, something to basically get me away, just clear my mind. I had sports at the time. I played sports. That was cool and all. But I started gaming much more after she passed away as well. So I kind of just started gaming, and then, I don't know, it was like my senior year of high school, 2K16, I believe, and then they had like a $250,000 tournament, basically, and I actually qualified for it with a team. I actually never played like the 5v5 mode either. I just hopped on it because I met somebody when I was playing Park or whatever, and then I don't know, it's kind of all just happened at once. And then they announced the league after that, basically, in 2K18, and then ever since then, I mean, I've had a pretty notable name, at least on the PS4 side. So once the league came around, people kind of already knew who I was. And, the combine came around. And after that, it was just destined to be, Rustin had faith in me. I appreciate him for taking me.
I'm wondering how or has participating in gaming and participating in the 2K League, has that changed how you watch basketball at all? Has that affected it? Have you noticed it, kind of manifesting itself there?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just like the game is this game is just different than the real life basketball. But there's some things that you can relate towards it. I mean, the organizations and stuff. It's all there's orgs in the league relatively better, clearly relatively better than some other orgs. It's just like the NBA basically. Just it's stuff like that.
So for your actual game, you're known as being an elite supreme sharpshooter. Can you give us some insight into what it takes to be the guy that everyone's terrified to leave open?
Yeah. No, see, I mean, that just takes a lot of – it's been a lot of time, a lot of practice, a lot of years. I mean, originally, I'm not the greatest PG, but, playing PG, kind of helps me see, lets me see, other shooting windows. And it just lets me see things that the PG doesn't have to see for me, basically. I'll just find those spots myself, and that's why I value myself as a threat so much. That's why people in the league value me as a threat so much, is because even last year I proved myself to the league. I mean, I was one of the best. I mean, I was the best shooting guard last year. So
I like that. He said I was the best.
Yeah, I mean, I still think I am. I just obviously the whole meta is different, so I just do what I can this year. But I've always been regarded as one of the best.
So, kind of marking your rise. I mean, you've been with the team since the beginning for the last 3 years, and you've seen some roster turnover, and you've seen the league kind of change, you've seen the game kind of change. What have you noticed from year 1 to year 3?
Oh man, do you want in particular with our team or overall?
Everything.
All right, we'll start with that team. Really, from season 1, we weren't the greatest. And I put that on myself a little bit too, because I think I could have done more season 1. We were 4-10. Granted, we lost 8 games by 4 points or less. Mm-hmm. So I mean, we were there. We just weren't. We didn't have the closer, and I kind of put that on myself. I mean, some situations were unfortunate in season 1, but I really think if I had the confidence that I had going into season 2, season 1 would have been a little bit better for our team. It was the league was kind of new to me at the time. It's whoa, it was, just all of that basically. But no, I mean, season 1, yeah, definitely wasn't the best, obviously, but it was a learning experience for me personally. And then season 2, we got lucky with one of the trades we had. We got the 10th pick. We got Keena. So picking him up and picking Sam up were obviously big for our team. And it kind of just, once we won the tournament, it was the next tournament we won, it was okay, so we're going to be good for a while. It wasn't we won the tournaments, and, Type was an outstanding player too. Don't mind that. But it was like all 5 guys on the court, like they're good ass players, like we're gonna be at the top for a little bit,
Right.
We just got to put it all together in the end. I mean, and now in season 3, obviously we didn't have the greatest season. It's kind of hard due to remote play. I mean, the difference between remote play and like on the stage is detrimental. I mean, a lot of the things you see in the playoffs is kind of similar to how some PGs and some people will play like on the stage because there's more pressure. And when you're in that environment on the stage, it's unmatched, really. You can't simulate it. And the LAN aspect of the game as well, playing on LAN, it's a different game. Last year, I'll go into it. Okay, so last year, the T-Wolves, they couldn't do what they did in scrims because the game was a little bit different. But on LAN, Bear could just run 5 out and just Euro dunk through people. But yeah, it's just like it's a whole different environment, and I think there would have been there would have been a lot of different results this season. I think we'd still be where we are, honestly, personally. I think we do better than we are right now. But, I'm just saying, LAN was definitely, it was our forte. Like that's our shit. Like we want that. Like we want the LAN experience.
Before we talk, a little bit about that finals matchup, we talked about the kind of the league and the game and how it's progressed over the past 3 years. I want to maybe turn it and focus on you and what you've noticed. You talked a little bit about, going from playing in the point guard spot to doing sort of more off-ball things. But I'm wondering if you have there are other things about that have come into your game that you've been able to develop, where you've gotten stronger as as time has gone on in this league. So sort of thinking about those 3 years and your experience of it.
Yeah, so I'd say my mental strength, I mean, that's esports. It's all confidence, mental. It's just like the NBA. That's one thing, actually, now that I think about it, I do notice in the NBA is confidence. That's like it's so big. Like confidence is the biggest thing in sports. It's just confidence. You're confident, like, I don't know, the sky's the limit. Like that's one thing about esports, sports in general, everything. Confidence is key. Mental strength was like the biggest thing for me from season 1 to season 3 now. I mean, a lot of factors, and like I said, the season 1 was learning experience for me. It was kind of just it was a hard thing to get through. But I got through it, and then season 2, obviously we didn't get to where we wanted in the playoffs and stuff, so that was hard as well. But I mean, season 3 right now, I probably have honestly, me personally on the court too. We're gonna dive into it because I honestly don't talk a lot. I used to talk last year a little bit more, but I was never, the leader. I wasn't the leader. I was basically a beta. I was a side guy, basically. That's kind of my role, which is cool. I'm living with that. But this year, I've kind of dove into a more vocal guy. Partly because of our coach, Mike, he's kind of, I don't know, he's kind of just changes like our whole mindset as a team, and that's just learning, developing, maturing. Obviously I've gotten older, but yeah, I'd probably say like my mental strength from season 1 to season 3 has been the biggest growth like in my game personally, because I've always been good. It's just, you just gotta stay level-headed at times. You gotta sometimes be a leader when nobody else, even when your leader is not being a leader, you know what I'm saying? You need that guy. So yeah, I'd say definitely that was one of my biggest growths as a player.
Well, it's funny you say that because when we were talking to CB13, he kind of mentioned his progress from last year to this year was confidence, and a big part of that coming from the coach. And it's amazing to hear you guys both talking about how your confidence has evolved over time, and with the coaching there. What's the chemistry like with you guys sharing that backcourt? Because he said his favorite player to model himself after was Chris Paul, and Dr. Tom almost came through the screen and attacked him because as Warriors people, Chris Paul don't fly around here, So
Warriors people with eyes, people who understand basketball, people who like winners. There are any number of people who hate.
With the Warriors, being so dominant because in a large part of their backcourt, UNCB, who's a MVP finalist. How's that combination working out?
I mean, he's taken off this year. I mean, I think us retaining him, keeping him last year is what instilled that in him. He was the guy. He was underrated. He was under the radar, doing the little things, game manager. I mean, Keenan, though, I'm going to get, he was always really smart. So I already knew he had, the ability. I mean, a lot of times last year, too, he put me in good positions, even when he wasn't scoring. I mean, he wasn't really a good scorer last year. He wasn't a good shooter. But I think this year when we retained him, and it kind of just gave him the motivation. And then in the offseason, he just worked hard. He's smart enough to know, like, if he can pass as well, like he passed like really good, like he can score really good. Like there's like levels to every like thing in the game. Like he can score now. And I mean, it's been kind of crazy seeing him like develop and flourish now into a scorer. Like I'm like, damn, like, okay. Like you better than me, like good stuff. Like, yeah, I like this. You're taking me home. Nah, me and Keenan, though, me and him, we've always had a good relationship. It's never I mean, we're always having a good time too. Off the court, on the court, it doesn't really matter. We're just always vibing, basically, me and him.